Hi, this is Stephanie Miller from The Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from my show on Political Voices Network. You're looking well despite your head injury. Your piece is a judge's ruling on Trump in Section 3 of the 14th Amendment made my head spin a full 360 degrees. Yes, I share that, and I've loved The Exorcist, so I love a good head spinning. But you said sharp legal minds have argued that Marshall's merciless recap of the former president balls deep involvement in the January 6th insurrection will do serious damage to the cause of Fulton County, Georgia inmate prisoner number 01111 down the line. You said Marshall did indeed go to town in her findings of facts. She hung the political violence and the threat of political violence right around his neck better than many politicians have. I agree with you on that. You reprinted her judgment, and it really is a damning.
It's a lovely summation of the case against him. I mean, Jack Smith should print it out and use it as a roadmap.
Yes.
I mean, it's not. It's not. It's not. Shining with rhetorical brilliance, but in terms of one fact after another, it's devastating.
Yeah.
And then, as we say, those of us who have law degrees from Law and Order, and then the twist.
Yes, and then this is where Charlie's head spun around like Linda Blair in The Exorcist. Wait. Let me just get, for those that haven't read it, Charlie. Just because it's so clear. The court further concludes the events on and around January 6th easily satisfy this definition of insurrection. The court concludes Trump acted with a specific intent to incite political violence and directed it at the Capitol with the purpose of disrupting the electoral certification. Trump cultivated a culture that embraced political violence through his consistent endorsement of the same. Consequently, the court finds that Trump engaged in an insurrection on January 6, 2021 through incitement, and that the First Amendment does not protect Trump's speech. And you just said this is some serious ass-kicking right here. She ruled the president, having engaged in insurrection, though was not subject to the 14th Amendment. That's when my head spun around at 360 degrees and I fell down. I recommend helmets for the rest of the time that Donald Trump is in our...
I think Grandpa needs to go buy a football helmet or something if we're going to keep having these very strange... I mean, think about it. What she's saying is that the framers of the 14th Amendment, who had just come through the Civil War, meant to prevent insurrectionists from holding office in the under the United States, as the amendment says, except for the guy who's most likely and best situated to raise an insurrection.
Right. Yeah.
Except the guy who controls the army.
By the way, as the official historian,
I'm not threatened. I'm really not threatened if somebody who was an insurrectionist becomes Postmaster General.
Yeah.
Or Undersecretary of Commerce.
As the official historian of the Stephanie Miller Show, and that's you are because I said so. This is a great point. You said, I find it hard to believe that the authors of the 14th Amendment, having just lived through a civil war, would have allowed, say, Jefferson Davis to appear on a presidential ballot. I mean, that's a really great point. That it just... Anyway, I mean, we were reading, Harry Littman, among others, reaction, though. Neil Katyal...
I am at the moment hoping Neil Katyal's right.
Yes.
That... somewhere down the line, that incredible finding of fact will become the most important part of this decision. But when you start looking, besides, everybody's suing everybody these days.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is suing Media Matters, and
I know.
Truth Social is suing everybody for saying it was losing money.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit.
Yeah. We all will. By the way, you said you have to go see an orthodontist about the neck thing you have now, and I'm sorry about that.
Orthopedist. You don't see an orthodontist.
Orthopedist, pardon me. Yes. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. What do you call it? We don't. Jody and I don't. It's Twitter.
You did name it.
Yeah.
Sued Media Matters, noting that the court ruling alleges the left-leaning media watchdog, quote, defamed the platform after it published a report that said ads for major brands had appeared next to posts touting Nazism. And why is that, Jody?
because ads appeared next to posts touting Nazism.
Right. Yes, correct. I don't think this lawsuit has a chance. Do you? I mean,
no, well, don't be too sure.
Yeah. There's
Twitter, as we call, is incorporated in Nevada and headquarters in California, but it filed its suit in, wait for it, the Northern District of Texas.
Yeah.
In the court where serves Judge Matthew Kaczmarek, the guy who issued the mifepristone ruling back in April. This is some high rent forum shopping.
Isn't that like the worst thing that has happened in this country in terms of our judicial system? Is we have to go, where is the court? Who appointed him? I mean, that's exactly the opposite of how justice is supposed to work.
Yeah, the center of American judicial power now is in Amarillo.
Yeah.
Where this guy presides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't the way this is supposed to work.
Yeah. No.
And of course, he's backed up by the Fifth Circuit, which is a monkey house.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, this is you noticed we just played a Trump soundbite because we love you best, and you always hurt the ones you love the most. But you just said it really is remarkable how his speeches constantly circle back on themselves. Our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. These are the...
Yeah, I mean, all of his speeches come around to something he's already said a couple of times.
Yeah.
It's like he's one of those little trains that runs on a loop. And sooner or later, it gets back to, rigged and stolen, and then next stop, crooked Joe Biden.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, speaking of court, it was a rough day in court reportedly for Trump's legal team yesterday, right, as they tried to persuade 3 appeals court judges to lift the gag order. And again, there's a lot of back and forth about, the different part, but I mean, it seemed like they were repeatedly scolding Trump's attorneys. Charlie, I just don't know how much clearer it could be that this is fire in a crowded theater, as Barb McQuaid said yesterday, the kind of free speech he's engaging in.
Yeah, the thing about it is a lot of these judges scold the Trump lawyers basically for being bad lawyers. Why are you wasting my time with this frivolity? And then they decide, at best half a loaf for the former president, or at worst they decide for him. Their main criticism seems to not be that this guy is a fascist maniac, running around on 5 brain cells, but that his lawyers are bad.
Yeah. No, I know. Well, we shall see. When do we get a ruling on that? On the gag? I don't know. Okay.
When it comes.
Probably not till after the holiday, I don't imagine.
Yeah. I mean, so, Charlie, before we go, the whole, rewriting January 6th history, we were mentioned earlier, the ghost buses that I don't know which idiot said to Christopher Wray that these were all FBI agents posing dressed as MAGA something. I don't know.
That's Clay Higgins.
Yeah. Clay Higgins
from Louisiana.
Yes. But Liz Cheney,
the man who makes Chip Roy look like Jason Bateman.
Yeah. So Liz Cheney hammered Mike Lee for pushing a bogus conspiracy theory about January 6th. He promoted a post on Twitter falsely claiming that January 6th rioter Kevin Lyons was flashing a badge while in the Capitol, indicating...
That's the vape pen.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. I mean, yeah. I can't wait to ask FBI Director Chris Wray about this at our next oversight hearing, wrote Lee. Right, he was holding a vape pen in footage taken during the Capitol. He's been sentenced to 4 years in prison. He was obviously not an undercover federal agent. And she wrote, "You're a lawyer, Mike. You're capable of understanding the scores of J6 verdicts and rulings in our federal courts. You didn't object to electors on J6 because you knew what Trump was doing was unconstitutional, and you know what you're doing now is wrong." I mean, more importantly, he was involved, wasn't he? I thought I saw something the other day of somebody saying it was Mike Lee's idea, this whole fake elector thing. What do you have any hope that justice is coming for these other insurrectionists?
Mike Lee has made his bones on being a constitutional expert.
Yes,
which is great. If you talk about the Constitution as it was functioning before the Civil War.
Yeah,
and he's a radical 10th Amendment guy, which means he believes in states' rights.
Yeah,
and guess what? We had that argument. Go to Gettysburg. Okay,
Right.
You can see where the debate was held.
Yeah.
That side lost.
Yeah. All right. More importantly, before you go, are you pro or anti ambrosia? We need to know where you are on this issue.
Oh, I don't think I've ever had any.
Yeah. Well, I would suggest you
meat
stay.
And potatoes up here in the Commonwealth. We parade around in buckle shoes and big tall hats.
There you go.
and we pretend that we didn't kill all the Indians.
I remain firmly anti-ambrosia, and
it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was the viruses we brought over.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was the smallpox.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, Charlie.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone there. I hope you all have a peaceful and non-political Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Although the odds on that are pretty long.
Yeah.
All right. Uncle Charlie's got to go, everybody. We're time to
Charlie.
cut the Twinkie.